Hello, folks. This is the voice from the man cave. Fat Guy Flies RC, folks. This is coming to you from the man cave. I want to show you the Dynam Hawker Hunter. I got her all together. Let me get some more lights on so you can see what we're doing. And just wanted to show you the lights. Another light back here so we can see. All right, got her all together, got the ordnance put on, got her all programmed, got her all trimmed, everything went together pretty simple. Let me just show you the features real quick, and then we'll talk about the specs of what I did with my radio. And here's something amazing, and I shouldn't have to say that about Dynam, but working retracts, and they're metal geared retracts, no plastic here. Now, something you're going to want to do, take this supplied screwdriver, tighten up every single Phillips head screwdriver you got. Everything's Phillips head. They give you a Phillips head. So make sure you use it. Okay? Got flaps. And now that one kind of hangs up. I might have to change that one, but there it is new, so it's just starting out, so might have to work it out. Typical Dynam chatter for the servos. One thing you're going to want to do is these ball link connections, because you may have to set some manual trim to get your ailerons just perfect. It's easier to disconnect the servo arm, undo your control rod, and turn it that way than trying to undo these ball links. They are tight. They've got them glued. They're not coming off. So you can't really adjust it unless you change all the hardware. That's the only thing so I made some little grooves here to put the screwdrivers in at an angle. These just slide on. They actually click into place. The other thing you want to do is sometimes this front gear kind of hangs up a little bit. So if you'll just take a knife and shave a little of that plastic off of there, it'll just cut right off there. I only shaved a very small amount off of that right there, just a real small amount there, and that gave me plenty of clearance so that the retracts will come and go up and down. So far they have not failed. I've probably cycled them 30 times and they haven't failed. Got all the decals on. The instructions are horrible. They just give you these real vague black and white pictures. So didn't realize, just kind of did the best I could. Everything seems to be centered and working correctly. The canopy, be careful grabbing. I haven't had any problem with this glass or the canopy glass, but it does seem like maybe if you yank on it too hard, it will come up off there. But so far, it's solid. The gap I was talking about in the build, it's even on both sides. So if it is a defect, it matches both sides. Now that is an HRB 3300 60C discharge 6S, and I don't have any room to go any further forward, and I don't have any room to go backwards. So unless you've got a 4000 that's the exact same dimensions, and you can look up this HRB 3300 60C on Amazon and get the dimensions off of that. I'll put a link to this battery in the description of this video. It does come with an EC5, and you got an XT60, so I have a E-Flight adapter on there. So that does take up some room, so maybe you could change a little room here on that. As you can see, I tried my best to get this rat's nest of wires up and out of the way, but that's just the best I can do. That XT or the AR630 is right down in that pocket, but like I say, there's no carbon fiber, there's no hard plastic, there's no wiring around here. and the signal will get through, so that won't have any problem with the issue with the signal loss. And the canopy fits really well. If you build this plane, you get this plane and build this plane, if you've ever purchased or got the E-Flite Viper, you're gonna say this seems very familiar as far as tight spacing for your battery and your electronics inside. Now, for the real fun. Oh, that 12-bladed fan. She got some power. She got a lot of power. Turn that motor off. Now I'm going to take the battery out, and I'll show you what I was talking about. You've seen the lights work, everything works. So, got a nice strap in there to hold the battery in, along with the wooden plate down there with a nice strap that holds the battery in. But folks, I'm telling you, there is no more room in this canopy, in this battery bay. That's pretty much it. There's your wall. You got this much space here, and my AR620 is tucked way back in there. I've got all those wires tucked in with zip ties. You got to get them out, everything out of the way, these magnets here, otherwise your hatch won't come down. And you really don't want much in here because you have a channel. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. You have a channel right here that's going to be, air is going to be sucked into here, and there is an opening there, and that air will go up over that battery and in that channel. So it's going to cool your battery. And in the build video, or maybe the unboxing video, these cheater holes, you can plainly see the ESC strapped up there, and that means through these inlets and this inlets, that cold air is going to be sucked past that ESC to cool that 80 amp Predator off. So no problem there. I've got my retracts up, so we're going to leave it like that for now. And plenty of room there. And this foam is kind of thick on the side, but I wouldn't go carving too much to fit a bigger battery. And you can't go any further because there's your servo bay and everything. You might be able to get a... No, it's that servo, that retract is all the way back, so you've got no room to do any carving this way. You're just going to have to get a 3300 or a 4000 that's the same dimensions of a 3300. Hatch works real good. Let me show you on the, let me get my, where I can see this. Okay. Let me show you what my all right, I'm going to just put this on aileron here. Okay. And I got 3 rates here. All right. My high rates, and then it's all for all 3 control, aileron, elevator, rudder, are all the same. My high rates is 100 over 30. My mid rates are 80 over 30. And my low rates are 70 over 30. Now that's going to be my starting point. Once I fly this plane around, I may, decide to adjust that, of course. Now, I'm going to show you what I've got for flaps. Now this is on a Spectrum radio based upon how it came out. So for flaps up, I got 100% flaps, 0 elevator. For position 1 or takeoff flaps, I've got 30% with 0% elevator. And then with position 2, which would be landing, I got -50 with 0% elevator with a 2-second deployment. So that is that. I haven't done any of the voice prompts yet, but I've shown that in other videos. I'll do it for flaps, for motor on or off, and for gear up and down. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, well, there's no battery in. Like I said, I've pretty much got I did try putting a big 4 cell, a 4000 4S. It doesn't have enough. I mean, it'll run, but it doesn't have, you know how you can hold an EDF and kind of hold it while it's running and it wants to push your hand up? No, it kept falling. So it's not a 1-for-1. I didn't even try that with this one because I know it's going to blow my hand away. Got a lot of power. Without the battery, it's fairly light. I don't have a scale to tell you exactly how many grams it weighs or how many pounds, but it's a fairly light model. Dynam models can be a little light, but fairly light with a battery, and of course, you know, that much more weight. But it does feel pretty solid. I can definitely tell you that Dynam has made a conservative effort to try to improve the quality of their airplane without really increasing the price too much. And yeah, there's a few things that could be better. Just make sure you check everything. You know, take your Phillips screwdriver, and everywhere you see a Phillips head or anything on it, you check those screws. Check your on landing gear, the little grub screws that hold the wheels on, the little wheel collars. Check those. I've had them come right off on a brand new plane, on an E-flite plane at that. So just make sure you check everything. It's a good looking model. The only mod that I'm going to do, other than the little shaving on the bay, I'm going to give her a clear coat. And like I do most of my models, and they look really good on Dynams. They just seem to really, it soaks up that clear coat and it just really shines. So I'll be doing that next, but that's not something you'll just have to wait and see it on the Maiden. So anyways, that's it. I plan on leaving the ordnance in until I get very, very comfortable with it, and then I will probably take the ordnance off. Then they just pop in. They literally click in. So Dynam, so far, I gotta tell you, I'm impressed. When you build this, undo your connections to your ailerons. Undo the control rods, and with from the way of the servo. And when you do that, work this hinge. This hinge over here on this was very tight and was causing this servo to really work. Once I worked it, it was fine. The other one was good to go. And I kept wondering why, you know, I've got so much throw in one and not nearly enough in the other. I thought, well, stupid Dynam. No, it's just the foam was tight and you need to work it. Dynam models, you have to do the work. You have to do some work. But once you get them flying, man, they fly awesome. And they're very tough. So there you go, folks. That's the Understand Electronics. You know, I got basically everything. I think I said 100%, 80%, 70%, high, mid, and low rates, over 30% expo all the way around. The 3300 6S is all you're going to be able to put in there. Unless you want to do some carving internally, which I don't recommend because you don't want to get into the channel air wall, which is right there. You're going to have a smaller receiver or something that's narrow to fit down that little bottleneck channel. Because if you have a wide square receiver, you got to have room for the antennas. You're going to have a hard time. So something that's narrow, and the little AR620 cube antennaless receiver from Spectrum is perfect. It is fit in there perfectly, up and out of the way, and it's at an angle. I don't have to worry about the bind plug or anything. So good shape. I'm impressed. All we got to do now is a Maiden, but I can definitely tell you Dynam has stepped up their game, and they really have. I'm hoping this doesn't make a liar out of me in the performance, but it's looking good. With that battery in there, if you look, I want to say it's 145 is the CG. Hold on, here, it's right here. 140 to 145 according to the manual, which is right about here. I found that my CG, if you look, there's this black section right here. Right behind that is a little panel line. Go straight out there, and that's about where my CG was. And so that's where she balanced out pretty good with that 3300. That's the only, and that's without putting that little piece of weight. I'm going to hold on to this little weight that was in the tail. I'm going to fly her the first time, and if I find she's still a little tail heavy, or yeah, a little tail heavy, I'm going to take this weight and I will. There's a place right by the servo where I could put that in there, and right by the little indentation there where the servo would be to one side, and I could epoxy that in there. But that's the weight to see how she flies, because right now on that with that 3300 where I have it, she CG's pretty good. But even when you check the CG and it seems like it should be perfect, when you get her in the air, sometimes you just say, well, the CG was perfect, but she's still nose heavy, tail heavy. So, and there's no room for the battery to move. So this is one of those situations where you got to add weight at the nose or you got to add weight at the tail. There is no room to play the battery. I've said that in previous videos. Normally, if you're too nose heavy, you move your battery back a little bit. If you're too tail heavy, you move your battery forward a little bit. But in this situation, there is no more room. You only got room for one spot, and that's it. All right, well, folks, I hope that explained a little bit. And I want to thank you all for watching, your attention. This is the Dynam Hawker Hunter 70mm EDF. I'm looking forward to the maiden. That'll be the next video on this plane. And thank you so much for watching. God bless y'all. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.